All right, welcome everyone. Hope everyone's had a great Christmas. Looking forward to the new year. I hope. All right, welcome everyone. Oh, let me turn this down here. There we go. Anyway, just going to talk about our slot car of the year choices. Been doing this for about 20 years. This is what we just call the Scotty Slot Car of the Year Awards. Basically just our picks, my picks for the cars that, morning guys, were the most important for the year. So we'll get started here. Had to go turn the volume down. You'd think I'd know how to prepare for it. Hey guys, I don't do the live thing that much, so that's all right. There's some cars, not every car that's been released this year. The criteria is it has to be a brand new mold, so it can't be just a repaint of a prior car. I know a lot of people contribute with their slot car of the year, their favorite of the year, and it's an older mold. That's fine. If it impacts you that much, you're new to the hobby, it's fine. Just basically telling you my criteria. It has to be a new mold, not a repaint. And then judging by the reactions, popularity on the Facebook group, on the forum, on YouTube, all the comments, some cars just more popular than others. So for the ones that I've picked up this year, this is my pick. First of all, we'll talk about some runner-ups. Late last year, right there, December, Scaleauto came out with the P60, the 963, and in the white kit, but it wasn't until January somewhere that these cars, the painted versions, came out. And when it comes to modern LMP and the super and the hypercars here, I tell you, Scaleauto, this is just impressive. I'm not taking anything away from Slot.it or anything they do, but these cars, we have had really good times with these. They are just fast. They perform really well. I'd say they're pretty much, top of the food chain when it comes to the modern LMP. These are tough customers. So really got to hand it to them. And, they do such a great job on these chassis. If you can't go fast with this under your car, yeah, you got to start racing trains or something. Hey, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, the 510s, though. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in just a second. But anyway, this is in my top right here. Just one nice car from them. Next, we're going to go straight to Revoslot. We're certainly not done talking to them, but the Lister Storm. This is not an appealing car to everyone. No one really knew what the heck this was, almost 20 years ago when it came out, and but now you can research it and get a lot more. But this is an important mold, an important release for Revoslot, because it isn't just the fact that you get 3 cars in a white kit, whatever, to get started, but this falls in with the Vipers, the Marcos, the other GT class. Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, hey, Merry Christmas, good to see you guys. This is an important release because it adds to an already massive series that Revoslot is building. So when you talk about a car that impacts club racing, in current clubs or home racing, if you're running the classes of cars, especially, and we just run Revoslot with Revoslot. These chassis make these cars unique. I have no reason to mix this car with Fly. It just isn't going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. I like Fly too, loved it, but it's not a Revoslot, okay? And the fit and finish on these cars are amazing, you know. So that right there, that comes in right there at right there in the top 6, I would say. You know, that and the Scaleauto, but obviously it's a beautiful car. Beautiful car. Get me some of the listers. Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well worth it. Well worth it. Got to have it. Okay, so another runner-up is from NSR, the Vet, the C8R. Early in the spring they came out. They started out with the colored kits, and then a couple of months later the first team car came out. And come on, it's NSR. This thing is sharp. Now I like the Sidewinder myself, but this car is just badass and fast. Okay, NSR has done some great stuff for our hobby, the racing, the world events, and they build a car for one purpose. It's not for looking at, it's not for collecting, it's made to compete. And this car is just so smooth and fast. And the detail level, you know, the rivet detail here and there is just, you know, they care about scale. It's not perfect, but the markings, the colors, everything on these cars, they've done a great job. Okay, so they definitely deserve. And I'm biased. I love vets. So, oh yeah, all right, good, cool, man, cool, yeah, cool dojo. Yeah, those are great cars. So, number 3, I have to give it to the Thunderslot Ferrari for me. This car was a major release in our hobby. I mean, you'd have thought Ferrari bought Facebook as much as people posted about this car, you know? But I think I found my first one. Oh yeah, you need to treat yourself if you don't have a NSR yet. I'd start with a Vet. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, this Thunderslot was just a major release. They did a great job overall on the body shape. Again, nothing is perfect. Thunderslot, like NSR and Scaleauto, they take a few liberties for performance, but still, they did a beautiful job with the car. And this is my number 3 because it was just really, really an important release. And it goes in with the Can-Am series that they've well established. Okay, so this car needed to be done and needed to be included in the classic, in the Can-Am series, and they delivered it. And it's compatible with the rest of the cars, etc. So this had to be in the list as a top 3. So there's that. And if you don't have a Thunderslot yet, you can start with that one. And actually, you can just start with any of them, you know. So here we go. I need coffee for this. So number 2, it has to be Revoslot and the Datsun. Okay, it's just, and for some people out there, this is it. The Datsuns. It's been a Datsun onslaught. Here, just a bit of trivia. Don't you find it interesting that Auto World did their Datsuns in HO scale, then Revoslot, then Slot.it. So we've had Datsuns thrown at us from 2 different scales, 3 different companies, and we needed them though. We needed them, and Revoslot delivered. And things like this little set, things like this, when it comes to collecting and presentation, you know, having these little special edition sets, they're not for everyone. I get it. Not everybody cares about such things. But for those that do, they produce it, right? So you gotta hand it to them. And the fit and finish, everyone knows. Everyone that's here that has one, that owns it, knows. The paintwork is second to none. Revoslot is the leader in our hobby overall right now, in my opinion, because they don't just release one car. They have set the new standard. You know, they start out with 3 painted and undecorated, and they immediately impact club and home racing in series. And they've set the new standard, and others are going to, you wait. Other brands are going to start following this formula because Revoslot has proven why they're the leader. Because you get clubs and home that they want to start a series with people, a new car, and they get one car. Well, that doesn't cut it, you know. Bare minimum 2. You got, you know, most sets have 2 lanes, but Revoslot sets the standard. These cars run great and they look great. And you had to do this car. You had to do Morton. You had to do Downs. You had to do this car. This is how you open the gate. You do the car that historically meant the most. And man, they did a great job. Yeah, the twin pack. Yep. Right. And again, we'll get to it in just a second, but for many, this is the slot car of the year. I get it, but nothing impacts our hobby more than this. I have to give credit where it's due to Carrera. This is the only release they've created in quite some time that's had such an impact. But we, on this side of the pond, in the USA, we needed these cars. We needed modern racing that's recognizable. You know, as much as we're all racing aficionados, this and that and everything else, but none of these other series are as popular as this. NASCAR still, whether you like it or not, they still, they're very popular around these parts. All my grandkids, they know who these racers are and stuff. And it was important because it isn't just about old farts, you know, that knows what these are. Okay? I mean, I was only 11 years, you know, like 10 years old. I don't remember these cars. I didn't see them on TV, the Datsuns. I didn't see, you know, I didn't see these. It wasn't until AFX came out with one that I really knew what these cars were. And even then I was too young to know. So I wasn't there watching these cars race. I wasn't there. But today, my grandkids, they love it. And we needed these cars. And they're tough, they're robust, they're easy to tune. They run great on their own track. Again, how they run non-magnet on a wood track is irrelevant. You can't judge the car on that like that. And we talked about this before. But you know, we do that. And we're the only hobby that seems to do that. that we judge a car on, you know, on these environments. But, you know, I've always used the analogy, you don't pick up car and driver and you don't see them bashing the new Corvette from Chevrolet because they took it to the Saudi Arabian desert and it didn't perform in the sand dunes. Well, it wasn't made for that. So they're not going to do that. And to judge these cars on a wood track that they weren't made for is the same thing. So we needed these cars. American racing, oval racing, with names and cars that we recognize is major. The second thing that makes these cars important, and not just the NASCARs, but some other cars from Carrera, is that they're affordable. That the analog cars are right there at $40, okay? Not everybody, not all families, home racers, have these massive budgets to drop, you know, $100 a car, basically, with shipping, okay, with these cars. So not everybody has that kind of budget, right? I mean, there's some of you all out there, and I'm one of them, whatever, every car that comes out you get. Well, yeah, you know, this is our hobby. We're old farts and we buy everything. But not everybody's like that. And all the feedback I got on the new set and the cars, there was a lot of young racers and stuff that are enjoying cars like this because they're affordable. Not all parents have those kind of budgets, you know. Oh yeah, right. Hey Tad, there you go. Yeah, right. You know, back in the day, there's a lot of those cars, you know, the Datsuns. Remember, I did not in my neck of the woods, not in the Midwest in Illinois, my small farm town. We made fun of Datsuns, you know. So, but these cars are that way. And the other thing I want to bring up is, just like with Revoslot, you didn't just get one car, because what's that going to do, right? 4 for 4 lanes right out of the bat. All 4 Hendrick team cars at one time. So even though some folks were like, well, when do the Fords come in? You got to start somewhere. And, you know, Carrera, you also have to know that they only do officially licensed stuff. So the Hendrick team and this team were very open to licensing. So sometimes don't blame Carrera or NSR or whatever. Sometimes it's all about securing the licensing, right? So we'll see what the future holds. But I've heard from a few of my sources that it's been a really successful release for them. And that's a good sign, because maybe we'll see some more. I'm pretty sure this won't be the last we see of this mold. Right. So, yep, yeah. Okay, yeah, sold out, yeah. So there you go, okay. My slot car of the year, #1, is the Carrera NASCAR. Just, this car is just so much fun. And yes, I am oval racer, I'm biased. But, you know. Now, we all know the Slot.it Datsun has just arrived. And it deserves to be mentioned. And it's a nice slot car in its own right. Very well done on the outside. It's a good looking car. It's not perfect, but neither is the Revoslot, neither is the Carrera. Nothing's perfect. But it's a good slot car. The only problem, and that's not really a problem, I guess, depends on you, your perspective, is that it just has nothing to race with it, really. We don't mix this with the Revoslot. The Revoslot is a class on its own. That's just our racing. I have no reason to, because Revoslot has so many different cars in the series. So it just needs more than one. And honestly, they should have came out with these cars right off the bat. but it's still worth mentioning. It's a nice little slot car and everything, but if you've already got the Revoslots plus all the other cars that go with it, they have the Alphas, you know, the Nemesis. They have the Alphas and everything else. So with that said, I prefer the Revoslot, but this is a great little car. It's easy to tune as well. There you go. So we got that out of the way. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to keep up here. I'm slow. I'm not like George and Marty and these guys. They're really good at just live stuff. I'm not. But one thing I want to bring up, and just to give it a mention, yeah, we're gonna talk about it real quick, but the efforts of George, Dave, and our little 3D event coming together, doing these 3D releases for our series. This latest one here, this kit car, this is a dream come true for me. I wanted to have this in 1/32 scale based on the model kit from 1/25 scale that's been around for several decades. And to have this in 1/32 scale in front of me to build for our series is just, oh, you talk about icing on the cake. This is it right here. I appreciate you mentioning it. It's important to understand so that it doesn't cause people to discount a good car just because you can't keep up. Right, exactly. It's different classes of cars. You see some comments, I remember I saw comments, about the Revoslot Datsuns and the Group 2 cars, and guys are like, well, my Vipers are faster. Well, I would hope so. When people talk about scale authenticity and they complain about mirrors being, the wrong scale or this scale and everything, it's like, well, yeah, but okay, scale realism. This car shouldn't perform like this car. It didn't in the one-to-one arena. Why should it here? And it's not going to. That doesn't make this a bad car because it can't keep up with this car, So I agree, Marty. Yeah, it has to be that way. But anyway, back to our 3D thing. This. So George, Dave, and I, it all started this summer with George getting his first printer, and it's just went from there. And we've created some bodies, but this car in my hand is got to be, I don't know, slot car of the new millennia, the decade. I've wanted this car so long, and I just can't believe that we have it. Oh yeah, the truck. I had to have that truck. Yeah. So I'm gonna put this down for a second, and I'll explain to you what we're doing. So this is a series of kits that we've had, that AMT's had for decades, right? Okay, the short track, late model, the Cushman. There's 4 cars in this series. The Petty Kit car is one of them. This is a good kit, by the way. Really, really nice kit. This is just one of them. You see the fenders, all hog. These are specialty built cars back in the day. Chrysler came out with these kit cars for oval racers, short track people to be able to just buy. This was like the beginning of the spec racing, okay? And we've had great times in this scale, building these cars, okay? Well, I've always wanted this version, and now I have it. I have it in 1/32 scale, and it matters to me. Now we have lots of choices. Oh, thank you, Marty. Yeah. Well, 3D printing at home. The home printing thing, it's just like home racing. Okay. Slot car tracks at home, having the ability, the building at home racing, instead of having to go to a commercial track, is always been a big deal, obviously. And printing at home is a big deal. And more and more people are going to start doing this. Printers are going to continue to improve in quality, in output. They're going to become easier and easier and easier to use. And people will start to, if someone makes a car, well, I wish they made the Fords. I wish they made, well, pretty soon you'll just be able to go in and get it and make it yourself. Right? And that's where we're at now with the Showdown series, is we're creating different models for the variety out here. And for that, I'm just very grateful. It just doesn't, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate this effort and the assistance of George and Dave. Without those guys doing what they're doing, this would have never happened. So I thank them. I thank them both for all their hard work. I'm just lazy. I grab the file and I print it. These guys actually do stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't want to go too long, about 30 minutes, and then I'll publish it. And I look forward to all your feedback. As always, out there, I'd like to just take a minute. A lot of us know there's some racers out there, some folks we know that aren't doing the best, right? You keep them in your thoughts, your prayers, whatever. We need to be very thankful. Sometimes that perspective, you need to be reminded of it. When I see guys on the Facebook group or whatever, throwing a hissy fit about, the mirrors are the wrong size or the rivets are the wrong color. I'm like, get a grip. It's a toy. It's nothing to get all worked up about and to criticize everything. Some of those guys, if you notice them, that's all they ever do. No matter what it is, it makes you wonder, are they even in a hobby? Half of them aren't, by the way. And if you dislike everything so much, then why are you doing it? You need to focus perspective. There's some people out there fighting for their lives, literally. One of my local racers is doing that right now. He's in a hospital bed wishing he wasn't. So, need to think about those people, how much they would appreciate just being here. And also, when we judge these cars, like I said in one of the Facebook posts, it's not just about the cars, it's about the camaraderie, the fun standing next to it. When George and Dave and Steve and Mark and Dennis, when these guys and Strange Brew, when we all get together and we're racing 4 lanes, it's the camaraderie, it's the cutting up, it's the laughing, it's the fun. It really doesn't matter what we're racing. And as we're racing, I'm not, when we're flying around the track and we're having fun, I'm not pissed off because they put the word Carrera on the tires instead of Goodyear. Give me a break, That's the last thing I could think about criticizing. I don't care. What's it look like when it's spinning? Yeah, it looks like Goodyear to me, you know? So keep those guys in your thoughts. Shoot them a message. Let them know you're thinking of them, right? And let's get them. Let's get them healthy, and let's get them back so they can have some fun with us, right? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, there we go. I want just a little bit over 30 minutes. So that's good enough. You guys, hope you all had a great Christmas. I really appreciate all of you. And you enjoy a cup on me, will you? Huh? And let's have a great new year. We're going to get started. I've got a few other projects I want to talk about. They're not new releases, but I'll get to those soon enough. So, and by the way, real quick, one more thing. I want to thank, I want to thank George and Dave and Marty and Slot.it and Shriven and you guys with your channels. I mean, Dave, you just cracked me up, man, with that calendar. That effort that you're putting into our hobby, that means a lot. It helps, every little bit helps expose our hobby for folks that don't know it exists to discover it. And when people are watching these channels and are watching, you know, it's supposed to be fun. And you guys have fun, and you share that fun. You network it, and that's really important for our hobby. And I really, really appreciate the hard work that you put into your productions, your social media, and everything. I don't. Let's face it. I'm pretty lazy. I don't do half what you guys do. I'm just, you know, I can't keep up. And years ago, I felt like I was the only one out here that would dare take a picture of a slot car and say, hey, I really like this. And now, oh man, you guys. Pff. So all of the work you guys do out there, all your channels, you know, Dojo, and the track work, and Lee Wright showing it pictures of this beautiful home track. You guys that share all your photos and your race reports on Facebook, even, you know, you're not doing the YouTube or whatever, but you're chiming in. And John Albright, man, Big John out there, come on. Thank you, man. All the race reports you do, the behind the scenes, letting people know how you tune these things and what you've done, all of that matters. Don't stop doing it. All right? Keep doing it. Think about that next person who wants to know about this car and, you know, would like to know what tire fits it or what you did to make it faster or better. You know, what paint did you use? What clear coat do you use? You know, what guide braid? What oil? Everything. All of it matters. So, you know, yeah, 125th scale rocks too. 132nd scale, doesn't matter. Whatever scale you like, share it and talk about it. There's not one better than the other. Hey, Robert, there you are, buddy. Good to see you. Anyway, I wanted to thank all of you guys for everything you do, and just keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't let up. We got a great year ahead of us, I think, and we're all very fortunate to be in a position where we can nitpick and critique little toy cars. Right? Yeah, that's it. So anyway, you guys, I always look forward to your feedback, your camaraderie, your comments. It's what makes this hobby fun. It's the people, not the toys, but the people are what make it what it is. So anyway, here's to all you guys. Have one on me. And you know that anybody wants to come out and race some slot cars, just let me know if you feel like, if you end up in Missouri on purpose for some reason, let me know. Anyway, to all my brothers out there, a late Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see y'all online.